it's that time again. Another day for another win. We ain't never gonna relent. We going hard, never giving in. Hey yo, it's time for another one. Yeah, we on another run. We ain't never leaving. The competition, we don't see it. This is winning season. This is winning season. Either you rest or you against. You know it's that time again. Another day for another win. We ain't never gonna relent. We going hard, never giving in. Hey yo, it's time for another one. Yeah, we on another run. We ain't never leaving. The competition, we don't see it. This is winning season. This is winning season. This is winning season.
We have a packed house here tonight in Buffalo Wild Wings, and that is because the national champs are here. It's the Broken Arrow cheer team in the building. I'm Dylan Rivera. Alongside me is Kirsten Blood, the head coach, Taylor Moose, and Ian Bodie down there on the end. It's been a whirlwind of the last few days, I know it. Whirlwind of the last few months for you guys, really. But let's just start with square one, and that's getting there, right? Just the travel aspect, because it's not here in the neighborhood. You got to go all the way down to Orlando, Florida, right? So let's start with trying to get on a plane with however many kids are here in white jackets, and what goes into just getting to Orlando, Florida, Coach.
You know, actually, this year was probably smoother than it's ever been. Everyone was on time. No one slept in. I think last year we had a few people slept in, but everyone got there on time this year, and I think it was probably the easiest it's been going through the airport, honestly. Last year we took junior high also, so going from 100 kids to 65 made it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But a lot of that coordination actually falls on our parents, and they schedule all the flights and book all the flights and all that kind of stuff, so we truly couldn't do it without them.
I think it's fair this early on to shout out the parents, all of you guys, everything you do to make it happen. Round of applause for the parents. Not only in making it happen, but of course they go down there as well, a lot of them, and root on Broken Arrow and what you guys are doing down there.
And feed us. That's
all the time.
And feed us.
Most important
there you
thing.
Go. But a lot goes into it, a lot of planning, but also a lot on the mat. There's a lot of different intricacies. We talked a lot about it last year, the ins and outs of how much the little things matter in cheer. This year you go down there, and I had asked you at a practice just how confident you were feeling, and you said it was maybe the most confident you'd ever felt. So why was that you felt so confident going in?
I just think that they were so prepared this year, and they were really hardworking, and every time they came to practice, we were ready to work on something and make it better. So I just think they were all bought into the process, and so that makes it easier whenever you're coaching them.
Yeah, I know you've lost your voice a little bit, so I'm going to move on to Taylor and let her answer the next question. Piggybacking off of that, this year's group, obviously pretty tight-knit, and I know you guys have spoken about it before. The team leaders are all just so well-respected, and they're so really powerful in their voice as well, but they do a great job of leading. So just this year's group, try to maybe put it into words how special it is.
This group, I think there's so many things to take into account when you're working with a group of athletes, right? You have to have people who are on it, like staying on top of each other, keeping each other, or holding each other accountable. You also have to have people who are really goofy and have a lot of fun. And I think our senior group is very goofy and super fun, which kind of lightens the load a little bit. It keeps you invested into what you are doing. They remind you why we are doing everything and why we are putting our effort into everything, into being better day after day. But they also bring a lot of joy for not just us coaches, but for the other athletes in the room as well. So not every group does that. And so I think this group is very special, and they're able to just bring everyone together so that we're all going for the same goal, but having so much fun at the same time. So
I know I just said I was going to move on to her, but she teed me up with something here. Talking about the goofy spirit, I was sent a picture by our friend Greg who went down to Florida with you guys. and there was a little bit of a prank pulled on you.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to explain what went down and your reaction to it.
So every year when we go to nationals, almost they start finding my mom's Facebook and going back to my senior photos and sending pictures of those. Well, this year we had a PJ practice one night after we got done with our day, and several of them showed up with my senior prom photo on their PJs.
And it wasn't,
Nope.
yeah.
No, it wasn't a small
At the
one.
toe, too,
Yes.
right? It was-
Riley actually had a whole mask made,
Yes.
so she got to wear my face on her face.
Multiple days,
fantastic.
not just one day.
Yeah.
It-
They went
reoccurred.
viral for it,
Yes.
so everyone
Did they
at
really?
the competition knew who they were because of their PJs.
I love it. Well, that definitely speaks to the goofiness
Yes.
and to keeping things light. I think that definitely makes it a little bit easier to enjoy the seriousness as well,
Yes.
is because you get done with the serious moments and then you get to kind of relax and have a really cool group to hang out with. Coach Bodie, I'm going to turn things over to you for this next question. As we're talking about so much fun that you guys have down there, you guys go down to Disney World, and that's hard not to have fun there. What was maybe just the most memorable experience from the parks for you guys?
Just going from the rides, I got to beat both these two with Toy Story Mania. And
I
just
was a
destroyed
close
them.
second.
That's the one where you're shooting, right? At
Yep.
the- yeah.
I beat them by like
Listen, it actually
100,000
stopped
points.
working for a while, so
The competitive spirit never ends. Right?
Exactly.
Well, you guys were busy, of course, on the mat, though. You guys had a lot going on, so let's start now with competitions. 3 rounds of all girls, couple of rounds across 3 different categories, really all week long. You guys were busy, so maybe just trying to summarize all of that that's going on and trying to schedule it and trying to be prepared. You guys have practices right outside your hotel rooms. There's a lot of moving parts to this. So, Coach Bodie, what is that like, just trying to corral everybody and get their heads in the right place when it's time to go?
It's definitely pretty intense, especially there's a bunch of college recruiters out there, so then these kids are a little more anxious of what they're doing, and it actually makes some of our athletes a little bit better on those days because they got people watching them for college for the future. So it's a good time, though.
How did you feel, let's say, after that very first performance? You guys go out there, you perform, and your emotions afterward, what was that like?
I was pretty excited, especially for the kids. It helped calm their nerves a little bit. Once they get one out of the way in front of a big crowd, it definitely gives them a little bit more experience out there.
I would imagine it's a little bit nerve-wracking to go down and then have to do your national performance, in front of so many eyeballs. And I know there's television cameras, and as you said, recruiters down there. There's a lot of things that can easily distract. But it feels like this year's team had a really good connectedness to it, Coach Moose. So how much of that was just the team being the team, and how much of that was maybe coaches stepping in and saying, hey, we've got to be ready to go?
I think it's both. Honestly, I think we were able to step in and say, okay, we gotta, maybe our first performance wasn't exactly what we wanted to happen, or maybe it was exactly between the different teams. But when you go from your coaches saying, hey, now's the time to step up and get ready to go do a better showing than your first one, it's also important that your athletes and your goofy right there.
Yeah.
Do you see that? You
Right
can't
behind the
even look
camera.
at them. It's also important for your leaders and your captains and even underclassmen to realize what time it is, that it's time to step up and just continue to push towards that next goal over and over.
And I think we touched on this last year, but you have girls who are 8th graders, who are freshmen, and they're like just getting their first experience at really big time cheer levels, and it's on a national stage. So how eye-opening is it for some of these cheerleaders to get out there for the very first time?
I think it starts in, we try to prepare them, thankfully. In Oklahoma, you get to do state competitions that are pretty nerve-wracking. So it's almost like they get to do a gradual step-by-step to get to nationals. But once they step on the floor at nationals, the very first time, and they're seeing all the different people and all the cameras, it's kind of a, oh my gosh, this is what they're talking about. But they rise to the occasion so well. They just turn it on and they do really well. So.
Absolutely. Coach Blood, let's go through just the 4 teams that you got there. You've got all-girl who finished 5th. JV co-ed game day finished 3rd. JV co-ed performance was 2nd. And then varsity co-ed game day was the one to take home the national title. Let's start with the all-girl performance, finishing 5th. You guys go through 3 rounds. That's a tough one to win. That's the stunt group. There's a lot of ins and outs to that. So just describe what that was like for you guys.
I think this year, like I said, we were so prepared, and these kids were so ready to go out there and show the world how great they were. And I think they did just that. We didn't have a perfect performance. We went out the first 2 days and had, just nerves getting the best of you on such a big stage. And then the last day they went out and they did so good. And so we were so proud of them for bringing home fifth, especially in a division with 113 teams. And then our JV co-ed, a bunch of those kids had actually never competed before. We added a couple boys who joined cheer about a month and a half ago, and they had competed on that. So it was really fun to see them rise to the occasion and just how well they did. For our JV game day, the same thing. It's a younger kids for the most part, and they went out there and truly looked like a varsity team, so that was incredible. And then getting to watch our varsity game day go back to back to back was just so amazing, because that's a lot of the all-girl and co-ed and stuff. We bring in an outside choreographer that kind of helps with that, but we do all of the game day stuff in-house. So all of the game day choreography and everything comes from our brain, so it's really special to see it go out on the floor and do really, really well.
So you guys are working on this literally from the first day you get them. I know it starts early, so what is that payoff like for you whenever you get all the way to that national stage and you get that final performance in? Does it feel like a little bit of a weight lifted off your shoulders?
It really does, especially this year. When we competed at state this year, we got fourth, and so that was just really devastating because we were kind of confused why at game day state we got fourth, and then being able to go back and kind of get our redemption and win the national title for the third year in a row was really, really special.
It's really interesting that you finished fourth in the state and then number one in the country. That's
It's very reassuring.
a little odd. But,
it does reassure you.
Yes.
Sometimes
that
you get a
you're
little
doing what you're supposed to, and it wasn't like we just kind of won. We won by 4 points, which is huge. So it's not just a. I think it's really to her, comes back to her. This is her specialty, is game day. And so she does every single part. So she keeps saying all of us, but really this is her baby. And so when we go and we win with her baby, it's just reassuring, for sure.
I think that deserves a round of applause as well. Before we move on, I also want to talk about just the day that Sunday was, because I've heard that you guys went really back to back to back to back. It was just one thing after the next. So, Coach Moose, I'll ask you this one, is just what was that day like? Because it feels like you probably never really got an idea of what was going on.
Yeah. Well, and kind of like we had kind of talked about earlier, you have to get from one round to the next round, and each time it determines when you get to perform. So depending how you do if you make it to the next round based on where you landed, determines where you perform the next day. So Saturday we had made it to the next round, and we found out that our game day performance and our all-girl performance were happening at the same time. So she had to go in and request a time change, which is pretty hard to get done. And they don't really change it to say you can go in the morning and you can go in the afternoon. They quite literally make it where you get off the floor of one and you have about 5 minutes to get to the next location for your warm-up to go back on. So it made it where these kids do not get a whole lot of downtime or food or being able to just refuel themselves before they go and have to do a whole nother performance. So it was a little bit tough, I would say, but I think they have the endurance to continue to push on and put on a good show for everybody. So I'm really proud of them for that.
Our parents actually set up food 3 different times.
Oh, did they?
And then they're
really?
like,
Oh, no, just kidding. Move it over here.
Oh, just kidding.
Go over here now.
The parents are amazing. They did great on that.
And if I listened to you guys correctly here, earlier you told me it was not like one mat is right next door to the other mat. It is like you have to run from one building to the other, and you said it was uphill.
Yeah, uphill.
So that's an extra added challenge, is it not?
You should ask Bodie how many times he ran that hill.
Well, how many did you run?
Yeah.
At least 3 or 4.
Meeting, we couldn't even get our bags to get to the next location. It was you're off the floor and your check-ins the next,
making sure
in 10
the
minutes.
warm-up room was on time, so seeing if they could have extra reps outside before we had to sprint all the way up the hill.
And of course, that's the one time they were on time.
Of course.
Right.
And then you might need a brace or you might need an inhaler or whatever you might need, and you don't have it, so Bodie went and got it for us.
Well, I was about to ask you, Coach Bodie, about just the turnaround time being so short. What do you think that does for a cheerleader, both mentally and physically to have to go from one performance to the next in the blink of an eye?
I think it's got its pros and cons. Its pros being that they don't really get to think about the next thing that they're doing. They just got to move right into it. And the con is they don't get that one extra rep that they would typically get while we're outside doing our grass warm-up before moving into the warm-up room.
My final question for you all here, and I'll turn this to Coach Blood, is just maybe summarizing how you feel about your team after this past week, because I know there's so many things going on with the actual performances themselves, but then you've also got the travel and you've got Disney World. So just what this week has meant to you, and if you can kind of summarize what it's been like.
It was really special. This group of seniors has worked so hard and been in our program for so long. And like I said, we were really disappointed in state season when we ended up in 4th, and we actually got 2nd in performance state, so that was disappointing. And I want it so bad for them to get to go and win and be successful, because they work so hard day in and day out. So it was just so nice to go down there. The trip was so successful going down there. They all had so much fun at the park days. They practiced hard, never complained about practicing hard. And then for them to just get to experience the success, and for a lot of them for the 3rd time in a row, it was really, really fun to just see all of that pay off, especially for such a great group of kids.
Absolutely. Well, I know all of us here at Broken Arrow were rooting you on from a long distance, but we're really proud that you guys came back as national champions again. That's a credit to you all. It's a credit to your team. So congratulations again on being national champions, and we thank you guys for being up here. We have a few more cheerleaders coming your way here in just a moment, so don't go anywhere. Keep it right here live on Uncaged.
All in all, there's not a better place to work.
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
It's very fulfilling.
The work that we do is hard. The work that we do changes people's lives.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job. It's a calling.
Hey Tigers, I'm City Manager Michael Spurgeon. The city is preparing for the next general obligation bond election in April of 2026. Just like the improvements to Albany Street in front of the high school, bonds help pay for upgrades to public infrastructure like streets and intersections, public safety services, parks improvements, and more here in our great community. To find out more about the bond process, visit the city website. Thank you for helping us build our future. Broken Arrow, enjoy the rest of the game.
While you are teaching someone special the nuances of keeping the wheel steady, we can provide you means for you to maintain financial equilibrium. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. First people put people first.
Tulsa Bone and Joint, Northeast Oklahoma's sports medicine experts. We are pleased to help you and the athletes in your life with a number of surgical and non-surgical options. Tulsa Bone and Joint is proud to serve as team orthopedist for local high schools such as Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sapulpa, Cascia Hall, and Bishop Kelly. Tulsa Bone and Joint, moving life forward.
Hey Tigers, get the only card that donates to Broken Arrow Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $360,000 so far. Support the Tigers with your card today.
Oh, I got my order wrong. This is me, Jessica. And this is...
Jessica?
Not my coffee. And my friend said, oh wait, Quick Trip. And she said, you don't have to tell me your name. Please, serve yourself. And I was all, oh, then this happened.
Yeah, someone stole my drink.
That's how I learned Quick Trip has lattes on tap, and I will never have to tell a barista my name again. Quick Trip, raise your coffee bar.
Welcome back live to Uncaged here at Buffalo Wild Wings. We have the cheer team in the building. Right next to me is Jackson Rube. Mia Nanita is in the middle, and Madison Lewis down there on the end. Three of our national champion cheerleaders. I want to start by just asking you guys about the fun aspects of everything. Let's start with Disney World and just getting to go on the rides, being with all your friends and doing it all together. Jackson, I know you've been through this experience before, but how special is it to go with your team down to the happiest place on earth?
It's honestly so special, and it's just like so rewarding after such a draining season. And just going after such a long season through all state seasons and stuff, and just pushing through that final week, and then you get to go to Disney. It's so fun.
I know you guys are always looking forward to it as you get closer and closer.
Yeah.
Is it sort of hard to differentiate between the fun in Disney World and traveling with your team and like business mode and like being prepared for the national routines?
So we have 2 park days, so those are like purely just for fun, and then as soon as practice day clicks, it's like we're going and we're going and we're going. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's just all cheerleading every day, all day, but it's still so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's what you guys love to do. That's why you're down there doing it, so makes sense. Mia, I know that you were part of a couple of performances over the week. There's a lot of girls and a lot of guys, a lot of moving parts. Just when you're out there performing on the mat in that national stage, do you feel any sort of pressure to make sure you get your stunts right and your moments right, or is it just kind of like you're not thinking about it and you're going through it?
Yeah, I definitely think there is a pressure just because we want to go win and we want to have that hit routine. So I think there's definitely pressure on yourself, but there's also just pressure as a team. But it's still so much fun. It's like a fun pressure, not really like a nervous pressure.
What is the first few moments like when you finally finish the routine? Because I've seen you guys in practice. Most of the time you guys are gasping for air, but aside from that, what's going through your mind as soon as you're done?
Honestly, I'm always just really happy. I'm like, okay, like we just had a good routine. Like it just feels good to be done.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like a weight lifted off your shoulders, right? It's just a little bit of a relief. Madison, you're part of the all-girl routine. I want to start there with you. Just the ins and outs of that and how difficult that is, because that's the stunt performance. As I had said, there's a lot more different moves. There's a lot of tough things that you guys are putting yourselves through. So try to just kind of explain how that performance had gone. Really, all 3 of those performances had gone through the week.
I think it's like, I think it's very hard to like, because you're constantly thinking about what's like the next section, like what you're gonna do, and you're always worried that it's not gonna hit. No matter how many reps that you do, there's always like a chance that something could go wrong. So I think it's very important to like learn how to save your stunts for like everything, so that you're, oh my God.
You're like conserving energy, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like conserve energy and you're looking forward to your next move.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm saving you. You're good. We'll turn things over to Mia. We'll give you a second. We'll come back to you. But as she had said, you're thinking about your different moves, right? And thinking about what's coming next. I asked this to some of the cheerleaders last year, and I want to ask you, Mia, is when you're on the floor, I asked you about when you're finished what you're thinking. When you're on the floor, what are you thinking? What's going on in your head when you're in the middle of a routine?
For me, it's kind of like a blur. Like it's like you go out there and it's just like a snap and it's done. But it's like your body knows what to do, and like you almost know like, okay, this is what I need to do in this section, so I'm going to focus on this. Like, and it just goes by really fast.
Yeah, and I know you guys also do like little words of encouragement in between. How much does that help you, or do you even hear them because you're kind of in that blur moment?
I definitely hear them. It helps a lot. I mean, mat talk is something that we prioritize in the routine, and it helps get some of the nerves out, and it's like, okay, we have our teammates, like we can do this.
Yeah. Jackson, being one of the leaders on this team, and like I said, having been there before, how are you trying to kind of lead by example for some of the younger ones that are going through this for the first time?
Honestly, since we've been on the team for so long, we already know what's happening. We already know everything. We've already been through it. So like just like telling everyone, and encouragement is probably like the biggest thing this year for all of our teammates. It's just being encouraging and just lifting each other up. I feel like positivity is definitely something that helps this team a lot, and I feel like prioritizing that is really special.
How much do the coaches help with this week and being able to lean on them and their stability in some of those times where maybe a performance you guys did well, but maybe you're a little unhappy with how you did or something like that? How much does it help to have a coaching staff like you have?
They're always so encouraging, and going onto the mat and then stepping off the mat, they're always just so encouraging, and they lift us up no matter what. They treat us like we're the best athletes there, and I think that's the best part. And they also have a goofy side, and they also like know when to joke with us.
6'7" right off the camera.
So just knowing that they're also goofy and just like they're also here to have fun, I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and that definitely sets a good tone for you guys and lets you know, like, hey, this is serious, but we can still enjoy the process of it. Madison, I'm going to come back to you. I hope you're ready. Okay, I want to ask you about Sunday and having to go performance after performance. For you, that process of just one after the other, how was it?
I think it was better for myself personally because I didn't, like Bodie said, I didn't have time to really think about what stuff that could go wrong or any of that stuff. We did some reps before, like when JV co-ed was warming up, so we kind of, that grass warm-up wasn't really needed, and I think it made us go out there and do better because we didn't have more time to sit there and think about, oh, this could go wrong, this could go wrong. So I think it was a lot better. It was very hectic because we were running into the warm-up and we were worried about signs, and we were didn't even have time to grab our signs, so people had to grab it for us, and we were very scared about grabbing the wrong ones and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think it was better.
Me, I saw you kind of nodding along there in agreement, but I want to ask you more about the physical side of that. Was that pretty taxing to go from one floor to the other?
I mean, yeah, it definitely was, especially because we had a full day of competing the day before too. So we were definitely tired, but we knew we just had one more push to go and win. So
I know you guys have practiced a million times. You guys have your state performances, and then you go to nationals. So I'm sure you guys were feeling confident going in. And then, like you said, Jackson, a lot of you guys have been there before, so there's that level of confidence there. When you were getting ready to go into that very first performance, were there nerves for you, or were you completely calm, cool, collected?
Honestly, this year, I feel like I stepped onto the mat just telling myself that I was going to have fun no matter what. So yeah, there's nerves. You've never been backstage at UCA before, but there's these big, huge black curtains, and they're really tall, and it's so nerve-wracking in the moment. But then you step onto the mat and you just forget everything that happened backstage, and you go out there and you just have fun with your teammates. Because once you step onto the mat, I feel like all the nerves go away.
Yeah, and I asked a little bit about Disney World and everything like that, but I haven't asked really about the travel aspects of it. So you're traveling with all your teammates, you're in the airports with your teammates, you're all stuffed on an airplane with your teammates. What's it like just being alongside all of these girls and guys for basically a whole week straight?
It's so much fun. They're honestly all my best friends, and I'm so glad I got to do it with them this year. And just going into everything, we just had so much fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Madison, I'm going to come to you one more time. When you're on the floor, and I've said this before, is the intricacies of how it's scored. How much are you thinking about how your feet are landing, or how you might land this stunt, or however you can hit on each and every single move within a performance? How much is that going into your mind either before or during a performance?
You definitely think about it a lot more before than when you're actually doing it, because it's kind of muscle memory, and that's why we train to do what we do, because that's how you should practice, is the way that you should compete. So I think you're thinking about it in that hallway that Jackson was talking about. You're definitely oh, we need to do this, we need to do this. You're talking to your stunt group or the tumblers behind you, we need to do this. But then you go out there and it kind of just flows. You kind of just do it and you're not really thinking about it.
Yeah. Mia, when you guys were officially named national champions, what's that moment of elation like? Because I got to feel like it's a pretty surreal feeling.
It's just the best feeling in the world. I can't even describe it. It's just so much fun, and it just feels like all your hard work finally paid off. And especially going back to back to back, it was just such an important win for us. Yeah.
Jackson, what does that mean? I think not just for you guys, but for the program as a whole, to now be able to call yourselves back-to-back national champions. What do you think that means for Broken Arrow Cheer moving forward?
I feel like it gives everyone a confidence boost for sure, and I feel like everyone kind of already knows our presence at UCA, but I feel like going into the competition this year back-to-back, I feel like everyone was already oh my gosh, that's Broken Arrow, they're good at game day, you know what I mean? So I feel like it just boosts everyone's confidence a little bit, and I feel like it makes everyone just a little bit more ready to go. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys coming up here, and congratulations on being national champions again. Thank you. And we thank you for coming over here to Buffalo Wild Wings and knocking this out with me.
I've got 3 more cheerleaders coming your way, so don't go anywhere. Keep it right here live on Uncaged.
All in all, there's not a better place to work.
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
Working at St. Francis is...
It's very fulfilling.
The work that we do is hard. The work that we do changes people's lives.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job.
It's more than a job. It's a calling.
Hey Tigers, I'm City Manager Michael Spurgeon. The city is preparing for the next general obligation bond election in April of 2026. Just like the improvements to Albany Street in front of the high school, bonds help pay for upgrades to public infrastructure like streets and intersections, public safety services, park improvements, and more here in our great community. To find out more about the bond process, visit the city website. Thank you for helping us build our future. Broken Arrow, enjoy the rest of the game.
While you are teaching someone special the nuances of keeping the wheel steady, we can provide you means for you to maintain financial equilibrium. First National Bank of Broken Arrow. First people put people first.
Tulsa Bone and Joint, Northeast Oklahoma's sports medicine experts. We are pleased to help you and the athletes in your life with a number of surgical and non-surgical options. Tulsa Bone and Joint is proud to serve as team orthopedist for local high schools such as Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sapulpa, Cascia Hall, and Bishop Kelly. Tulsa Bone and Joint, moving life forward.
Hey Tigers! Get the only card that donates to Broken Arrow Public Schools every time you use it. TTCU Federal Credit Union has donated more than $360,000 so far. Support the Tigers with your card today.
Oh, I got my order wrong. This is me, Jessica. And this is
Jessica?
not my coffee. And my friend said, oh wait, Quick Trip. And she said, you don't have to tell me your name. Please, serve yourself. And I was all, oh, then this happened.
Yeah, someone stole my drink.
That's how I learned Quick Trip has lattes on tap, and I will never have to tell a barista my name again. Quick Trip, raise your coffee bar.
Welcome back live to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's the Uncaged podcast, and alongside me, we've got the cheer team. It is Kinley Redidall here next to me, Anna Craig in the middle, and Leah Chrisman down there on the end. I'm Dylan Rivera. We thank you for tuning in, and I've got a first question. It's kind of a bonus question for Kinley because she actually did this last year with me, and she asked me what my favorite sound effect was, so I have to come back now a year later and ask you, do you have a new favorite sound effect, or what's your current one?
I think that my favorite sound effect is probably just like any noise in our cheer music.
Okay. You guys have a lot of noises going on too. It's not like just straight one song. There's a lot of changing of sounds in there. So I get that. I understand that. She's the only one that's getting that question, by the way. That was just a Kinley question. Congratulations on being national champions, first of all. I know that that's a really incredible feeling to be able to hear your name called as best in the country. So, Kinley, you guys have been to that stage before, and that moment of elation when you finally get to hear that you are the national champion, what's that like?
So whenever they start calling third place, you're really just hoping that it's not your name. And then second place, as soon as they called second place when we knew that we had won, it was just an overwhelming feeling of just pure joy, knowing that all of our hard work was worth it, and all of the hard practices, and just getting to that point was absolutely amazing.
And they call second place, and then do you guys kind of have to hold for a second before you cheer for being national champions?
We're supposed to, yeah, just out of courtesy.
Okay, so let's ask that. What's that maybe? It's probably only 5 seconds, but it probably feels like an hour. Is waiting to hear Broken Arrow is the first place in varsity co-ed game day. What was that few seconds like?
It was a really cool experience to know that we had done that 3 years in a row now, and then whenever we finally got our name called,
just being able to celebrate like with your best friends next to you, it's just so cool.
And you guys have all your best friends here tonight as well. Everybody's here in the building. Anna, I'll ask you that, is just being a part of this group, being a part of this team, how special is it to be just with such a special group of people?
This group of athletes and just seniors has changed me so much. I think that they are just so fun to be around, and they push me to be better every day, whether it's at practice or the kind of person I am. And I think it's been like one of my best years yet, just because of them.
Take me through what it's like, maybe going from a cheer practice and going through your routines and trying to get sharper, but you're doing it alongside everybody that's so talented and so funny too, that will keep you on your toes and keep things light and goofy. What's it like just maybe in those rehearsal moments before you guys get to the big stage?
I think it just helps everyone. If anybody's stressed about anything before we leave, I think it really helps us be able to like stay focused on what we're doing, because we know that the people next to us are also doing it, and our best friends are also doing it, and we're all staying focused together. And in the little moments like of water breaks in between things, I think it's just like nice to know that you're not alone and that you like can have other friends there for you.
And Leah, mat talk is a big thing as well, and they had said earlier that that's something that you guys try to really stress on this team. So what's the conversation, I guess, is what you want to call it, but it's not really a conversation because it's just a couple of words, but what's going on the mat when somebody's running by you and gives you a quick word of encouragement?
So most of us, we kind of like give handshakes to each other or like smack each other on the back, or it's like, you got it, and you like cheer on everybody, like especially in our stunt. Kirsten is actually behind our stunt, and she screams so loud, and it's so fun to hear her like actually cheer us on, because she's such an amazing like hype person, and she's like, you got it, you can go, you can do it, and like that's kind of like what our mat talk is.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that you guys in your practices leading up to your national performance are still sort of changing things a little bit. There's still a little bit of shifting things around and making everything fit like a big puzzle piece. So how much are you guys changing up until that very first performance, Leah?
I think we're always changing. Like, there's always something that has to be fixed or has to be different. I think, like, for example, one of our practices, like, we had changed part of our game day routine, like, the day before we left. And I feel like that change kind of, like, makes everybody just like, okay, now I have to think about this, I have to remember this, and I have to add things as well to make sure that I'm doing the best that I can.
As we're talking about practices and being prepared, you guys at your hotel have a big open area where you guys are practicing as well, but there's also like a million other cheerleaders there that are also trying to practice. So Anna, what's that like, getting to just be around so many different cheerleaders from so many different walks of life?
It's really fun if you love cheerleading and you love to watch cheerleading. It's like the best cheerleading in the country is all together at the same time, and you just get to watch these insane stunts that are just like so cool to watch. But it's also really hard because there's so many of us that whenever we try to go practice, we have to like push our way in. So we're in this little small circle, and then we're slowly like pushing our stuff back into other people's teams, trying to make room for ourselves. But it's really cool.
Yeah, it's a bit like a land run or something, where you guys are like trying to grab your little area and then grow it, right? So I get it for sure. Kinley, it's been a long week for sure, so let's maybe just start with those first few days of going down there. You're traveling, and then you get to go straight to the parks with your friends and your coaches and everybody. What are those first few days like when it's like, okay, we're here now?
So Tuesday was our first like travel day, and we had to get up, and I think we had to be at the gym at 3:45 in the morning.
Oh.
So just getting up that early whenever you're not really used to it, like making sure that you didn't forget anything.
Yeah.
And then going to the airport and like trying to get all the people through security. It actually went really smoothly on the way there, so that was nice. And then the plane rides, you just get to like sleep and like enjoy the scenery, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But then whenever you get there, you finally get to like check into your hotel room and like hang out with your roommates. And then the same night that we got there, we had a team dinner, and that's like the only time that we get to like wear what we want and like dress up. So that was fun to go shopping and just eat dinner, like have that quality time with your team. And then the next day you have your park day, which is so amazing just to go to Disney. And it's such a magical place that you get to have so many memories and like ride all these rides. It's something that you'll never forget. and then you start like your big practice day, and that's whenever like it starts to get serious that you're like there for cheer.
Yeah. Do you think those moments of going shopping and having team dinners, do you think that helps with what you guys are doing on the floor?
I think it definitely helps. It makes the bond stronger. It helps you get to know each other better, and it lets you know that like it's cheerleading at the end of the day. Like it's not the end of the world. You just get to hang out with your friends and like show people like what you love.
Yeah. What are those emotions like when, I mean, you're a senior, so you're at the biggest stage and you're doing it for your senior year. What are those emotions like for you?
It's really sad to know that it is my last year and like everything that I've worked towards is coming to an end. But it's also really amazing to see how much the program has grown too. Because like everybody that comes up every single year, we just keep getting stronger and stronger, and I think that that's really helpful.
Yeah, I asked Jackson this question, and I'll ask you the same thing since you're a senior. You've been back-to-back national champions now, and I think that kind of sets a standard with Broken Arrow cheer. So what do you think that does for the students that are maybe in 5th or 6th grade right now that are seeing what you guys are doing? You think that kind of lends them to say, you know what, I want to do that same thing?
I think it definitely makes them more excited to come up to the program. It's like, oh, like I can win when I get there. But I also think it's just every year that we win, it's more pressure on the teammates and the athletes and the coaches. It's just more pressure on like, oh, we won last year, we won the past however many years. So it's just more pressure to go and win the next year, I think.
Yeah, and Leah, they had mentioned about having sort of a target on your back. Did you feel that way when you were down there?
Yes, with like Owasso and co-ed and stuff like that, and then like all the other game day like teams going against us, I think since we've won like the past 2 years, like everybody's like, oh, we have to win against this team. I feel like the judges are also looking for a new winner since we have won those past 2 years. So it feels like there's a target on your back at all times, especially because everybody's like watching. It's like, that's BA. They won the past 2 years and something like that.
Yeah, it's a little different than like I've heard stories from Pride going to Indianapolis, and it's almost like BA is a superstar there, and they're almost like awestruck to see Broken Arrow. But with you guys, it sounds like it's more of like oh, there's BA, we're going to go get them. And so that makes it a little bit more challenging, I feel like, to have that aspect out there while you're still trying to do your own performance, much less. So let's go with just the when it comes to starting the performance, you guys are out there on the mat. I know there's like a few moments before they like hit the music. So you're trying to focus in, you're trying to block out that noise of being the target. Leo, what's going through your head in those first few moments?
I kind of think like I got this, like I know what I can do and I know what I've done before, because like in practice we get so many reps and we do so many things to like prepare us for performing. And then I also am holding hands with my big Cherish, and so I also like kind of lean on her because I know she can ground me in what I'm doing and genuinely help me like throughout the routine as well.
Yeah, right before you guys go out through those big black curtains that Jackson was talking about, Anna, is there like a moment that the team is together, a team message or something like that?
When we're backstage, we all kind of stand in a circle and we're just like, okay, like we can do this, like we know we're doing it for each other. I think it's mostly kind of just to calm each other's nerves down a little bit more and less of a like help to make us go. I think it's just to make everyone feel a little calmer and not have to be standing in silence. But yeah.
Kinley, I know you're laughing at the teammates behind you as they keep messing with you guys right behind the camera. But when you're having a team like this and you're having those moments of conversations where you're kind of able to hype each other up and really feel that connectedness, what does that do for you guys out on the floor?
It just really calms your nerves and lets you know that like you only have to do one thing at a time. You don't have to worry about like your time like at the end of the routine or like making sure that everything hits. It lets you know that like people are there for you and you're not doing it alone.
Yeah, my last thing I want to go over is with you guys is about Sunday. I've asked everybody else about this, so I want to get your opinions on this as well. So, Kinley, Sunday you guys go from one floor to the next. What was that experience like for you?
It was honestly a little bit stressful because we've never done anything like that before. We usually have time to like warm up and like get prepared for it. But I honestly liked it better because you didn't have to think about what could go wrong or like what's coming next. You just had to think about like going and getting your job done. Yeah,
that kind of seems like the consensus that you guys all almost like that better, just going from one to the other. But Anna, after that second performance is over with and you've hit on everything, were you just exhausted?
I feel like it was just adrenaline. Like I was running on adrenaline for so long because we had warmed up, we had done game day, and we got off the mat and we sprinted to the all-girl warm-up room and we're warming up in there, and it was like I didn't even know what was happening. I was like, okay, like let's just go, I guess. Like it was just like it kind of felt like a practice. Like okay, it's just another full out, which I also think helped calm a lot of people's nerves, and nobody was really thinking about how tired they were because we were like, okay, next thing.
Yeah. And then Leah, you guys finish up on Sunday. You end up finishing the evening as national champions. And I've already asked about that moment of being announced as national champions. I know you guys celebrate afterward, though, and I haven't asked that yet. So what's the celebration like immediately after when you guys are announced as national champions and then you're leaving the building?
I think we're all like super happy. Everybody's smiling. Everybody's like jumping and hugging each other. Like once we get off of the stage and take a picture like with the medal and with our what is it called?
Your trophy?
Yes, sorry.
No, you're good.
We all like start screaming, running, jumping up and down and stuff like that, grabbing our jackets. And I feel like everybody just like brings up the mood because you're always so nervous on the stage because like everybody's watching you and you know that you did like the best performance that you could have done, and you're just like, I really hope that I win this because like I feel like most of us like deserve it, like because people have worked so hard to be on routines and perform the way that they performed at UCA, and I really think that they deserved that win. And then when we get back to the hotel, we also like put on a uniform and we jump into the pool, and that's actually a really fun experience because that's like the finalization is like I actually won that mat and I like did the best that I could. And that's our reward.
Yeah. Well, you guys have definitely earned it, like you said, and you guys have worked so hard. So congratulations on being named national champions and reaching the pinnacle. You guys have done it, so congratulations on that. We appreciate you guys for being here. We appreciate you coming up here and talking with me. And we appreciate everybody that came out tonight to Buffalo Wild Wings and filled up the restaurant. We thank Buffalo Wild Wings for hosting as well, and we thank you for tuning in live here on Uncaged. We'll see you next week with the Tigers.